Okay. Now we're live. Right. Let me see here. Okay. Okay. Welcome everyone to the return of Dragon Age Origins. Still just like wrapping up a few things from that unexpected call I had. All right. Um, let's see. We're at a camp.
Yes?
I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
This vision of yours.
I knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell, and the darkness drew me in.
You dreamed of the Blight?
I suppose I did. That was what the darkness was, no? When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rose bush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith.
Did you hear voices? I don't know if that's, like, that sounds very insulting and ableist. Uh, and this made you want to help me?
In my dream, I fell. Or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the blight devours everything?
The Blight is... I suppose I couldn't sit by either.
That is why you're a Grey Warden. Come, there's a blight to stop.
Why are we stopping?
I think we should talk for a moment.
There are darkspawn to be fought. Is this delay needful?
Never mind, let's keep
As
moving.
you wish.
Ah, it's good to see you, my timely rescuer. Bodon Fennick at your service once again. I saw your camp and remember the kind offer that you made the last time we met. And is there anywhere safer for a poor merchant and his son to sleep? I think not. I'm perfectly willing to offer you a fine discount for the inconvenience of our presence. How does that sound? Good? Yes?
You're free to... No, you're free to stay. Just mind yourselves. Let me see your wares, Boda.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected. And with your discount.
Why, thank you. Wow, that's a lot of things. Mabari Crunch. It's a mystery why the Fighting Hounds of Ferelden desire treats composed partially of plant matter. The crunch is also a mystery. I don't get it. Plants are good. The Veshial Dragonbone One-Handed War Axe. Wow, wow, wow. It costs so much, the 131 gold. And Sylvain's Mercy. Viridium. Price 24 magic. Inscriptor's Foil Inscribed. Blood Dragon Plate Helmet. Blood Dragon Plate Gauntlets. Blood Dragon Plate Boots. Well, I would like to get a full Blood Dragon Plate here, but I need to sell things to do so, I believe. I hope I can sell enough to get the 2 gold I need. Maybe I just need to grab stuff off that I gave to people earlier. The Spell Ward. Such fanciful things. Okay, acid flasks. Not gonna use that. Lyrium potions. Spirit bombs. Journeyman lightning rune. Plus 2 electricity damage sounds really cool, but so does a bunch of gold. Blank vellum. Tribal necklace, the gift. 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 Beef bone. A shoulder of beef with bone attached. Alright. Let's see. Oh, that was a lot. I didn't realize the fire bolts and fire arrows would sell for so much. Blood Dragon Boots. There we go. Blackmail Torque. Oh, it's a Mabari collar. How silly. Alright, I think that is everything then.
Oh, why, you little...
What? What?
Your furry friend here took offense at me getting near his food. He snapped at me, look.
There's hardly any blood drawn. Still, he shouldn't have. Good boy, teach that silly Alistair a lesson. He whines and hangs his head.
Sometimes I forget that he's a war dog. That'll teach me. I once heard a really old legend about how the Hound warriors in the days of the old tribes would feed their Mabari the flesh of the vanquished.
Whines.
Well, that's what I heard anyway. It would sometimes be human flesh.
Gagging noises, heaving.
Oh, like you can tell the difference. For all you know, maybe you've already been fed something. Someone.
Scared whimper. Don't listen to Alistair, he's full of rubbish.
Hey!
Look at what your fool dog placed in my pack.
He wags his tail.
A putrid, half-eaten hare is not something a woman wants to find in her unmentionables.
It's the thought that counts, he means well.
The dirty mongrel can have this back. There. And tell him not to do it again.
Don't do it. it. You heard the lady. Whines.
I don't want it, you worthless fur bag.
Whines sadly. Oh. I think you hurt his feelings.
Oh, he's just trying to be manipulative, I can tell. I do it too.
How do I give gifts? Let's see. Gift. Gift. Oh, I think I have to... There we go.
A fine gift. You have my thanks.
Bark.
Oh, how dear of you.
Wait. Who would even want this? Battlefield spirit maintains a chill. Guess I'll give it to Sten.
Unexpected. Thank you.
Augie. Running around. Running around.
Hello. The boy's a bit simple, but he's rather good with enchantments. One of those tranquil fellas actually called him a... what was it now? A savant. I had no idea such a thing existed.
What enchantments does he do?
He can fold lyrium into almost any weapon or piece of armor, though naturally some of the more extravagant materials will take more lyrium than others. It's a process that some of the master smiths back in Orzammar will perform, but my boy here is just as adept at it. Isn't that right, boy?
Enchantment!
And there you have it.
I want some enchanting done.
Enchantment!
Enchantment. I have no runes and I have no items to enchant. Augie.
If there's anything I can do for you, please, please tell me.
Have you heard any rumors?
I hear tell they held a funeral in Denerim for King Caelan. The Grand Cleric called for a full day of mourning, and there was a procession a mile long passing by the brazier. It's too bad they don't have a body to properly burn. What happened to him at the hands of those creatures, it's unthinkable. That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is.
Persuade. So what's your story exactly?
Oh, nothing so unusual and so interesting as you and your companions, I'm sure. Dwarven merchants are common enough on these roads, aren't they?
Have you heard any rumors?
It's not just Darkspawn and the Horde, you know that? There are people with them. Folks who are sick with the blight, and their minds are all twisted and mad. I heard tell of a man meeting his own brother on the field, yet when he called out to him, his brother didn't even recognize him and just attacked. That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is.
I should go.
Of course. Good fortune to you and yours.
Goodbye.
Makes me worry that any of my companions may become infected. Morgan, you have an incredibly fancy thing over here. Got a bunch of bundles of stuff. Huge fireplace. A whole bunch of potions of some kind. Bunch of magic scrolls.
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to discuss something, ask you something.
If you must.
How do you become a shape changer? Wait, she's a shape changer?
I was not born such. 'Tis a skill of Flemeth's, taught over many years in the wilds. The chastened have tales of we witches, saying that we assume the forms of creatures to watch them from hiding. When a child is alone and separate from his tribe, that is when we strike, dragging the young boy kicking and screaming to our lair to be devoured. A most amusing legend.
Your mother's been doing this for a long time, then.
Changing her form, certainly. Devouring lost children, I cannot say. She has not done it in my experience, though in truth my lifespan is but a fraction of her own. Why do you ask? Is there something specific you wish to know?
Can you change into other human forms as well?
The form of an animal is different from my own. One may study the creature, learn to move as it does, think as it does. In time, this allows one to become as it is. I gain nothing by studying another human. I already am the same as they are. I learn nothing. So the answer is no, my human form is the only one I possess.
Neat. Can anyone become a shape changer?
Anyone with sufficient will, but the act of transformation is a magical one. 'Tis a spell and thus requires a mage's talents. If you had a notion to learn such a skill for yourself, sadly, you must remain disappointed.
You spend a lot of time as an animal.
There were nights when the wilds called to me, 'tis true. You look upon the world around you and you think you know it well. I have smelled it as a wolf, listened as a cat, prowled shadows that you never dreamed existed. But my life is as a human. I am under no illusions to the contrary.
And what do other animals think of you when you're changed?
They do not shy away from me. To their senses, I believe I seem like any other of their species. As to what they think, I truly cannot say. Just as I am still human, no matter my form, they are still animals. Thus they cannot speak, even were I to ask.
That's all I want to ask.
Indeed. Have you an opinion on my abilities, then? Am I an unnatural abomination to be put to the torch?
No, you're amazing. I think your abilities sound quite useful.
A most practical opinion. Far more so than any man I have spoken to. But enough of such talk. Let us proceed, lest the dust gather on us.
Boop, doop, boop.
You're a hard woman to find. Where are my manners? The name is Levy, Levy Dryden. Did Duncan ever mention me? Levy of the coins, Levy the trader.
Sarita, I've never heard of you.
Really? He never told you of old Levy? We've known each other for years. But here I am carrying on while you have a blight to stop. Don't want to waste your time. But you see, Duncan promised that together we'd look into something important for the Wardens. And for me. But poor Duncan's... well, no more. A tragedy it is, at that. But I know he would want his work carried on. His pledge fulfilled.
What promise did Duncan make to you?
My family, well, past a bit checkered to see. Nobles look at us with disdain. My great-great-grandmother, Sophia Dryden, was the last Warden commander of Ferelden back when the Wardens were known as freeloaders. So King Arland banished the Wardens, and he took House Dryden's land and titles.
What happened next? That's a bit drastic, isn't it?
And then some. Not much is known about that time. After King Arland died, there was a civil war, loads worse than this one. And our family was on the run, hunted by enemies, with nary a friend in the world. But Drydens are tough. We rebuilt, became merchants, and we never lost our pride.
I'm surprised you kept your name. Or... yes, what favor did you ask of Duncan?
I asked for the truth. My family reveres Sophia Dryden. We know she died at the old Grey Warden base, Soldier's Peak. We want evidence to clear her name. It won't restore our land or our titles, but it'll restore our honour.
I've never even heard of Soldier's Peak.
Well, no one's been to Soldier's Peak since Arland's days. At least none that's come back. I spent years mapping the maze of tunnels to the peak, and I found the way a few years back. So I went to Duncan, I did, and I said that he could reclaim the old base and my family could have its honour.
Why didn't Duncan help you?
Darkspawn surfaced in southern Ferelden, and Duncan got plenty busy recruiting new wardens and meeting with good King Cailan. Duncan said he would help after the Battle of Ostagar. Said there might be useful things at the peak, but he never had the chance.
I have a sudden emergency call. I will. Your family's faith will be rewarded. I will help you.
Blessings upon you, Warden. I'll mark down the location on your map. When you arrive, we'll pick our way through the tunnels together.
And I have to save and quit the game. Okay, bye. Take care, everyone.